What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the 10-minute Touch Warmup. I'm Core, that's Liv, and this is the On the Floor with Liv and Core podcast. And we have a very special guest on today. For the 10-minute Touch Warmup, we have assistant coach Ashleigh Gnat from LSU. Is it just like this? And
It's just like this. It's
I'm
the
more
right hand. Yeah.
the right hand.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in. I'm in. I
It's
want to
like
make sure.
backwards when you look at it, but when someone else is looking at it, it's the right hand.
Okay, perfect. And
Yeah.
honestly, Zoom throws everything for a
Oh,
loop. So this might be right, this might be right, and either way, don't come for us.
no,
So
we're
with
happy to see
that,
it.
yeah, with that, we're gonna start this stopwatch because we don't want a deduction, Ashley Nat. We do not want a deduction.
No,
And we are
yes.
gonna get this ball rolling, but we're happy that you're here.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. Okay, everyone ready? Set,
Ready.
go. Okay, Ashley, student athlete at LSU, assistant coach, LSU.
Yeah.
Rocking it. Well, you're crushing it. It's always fun to see you down on the floor at your alma mater.
Thank
What's
you.
it been like in this new role? And what have you taken as a student athlete to bring into the culture and the vibe of you leading the Tigers the way that you do?
Totally. It's funny because it feels like yesterday, but it's been 7 or 8 years now since I was actually competing. So it's been kind of a hot second. So I think there's definitely a large enough age gap and a lot of lessons learned in between those times. So I think definitely always a trying to apply what you learned as a student athlete, but also who you are as a person. And tie that together into getting to know our athletes. We're super relationship oriented. So we always want to know our athletes, and we feel like that's the best way to coach them if you know who they are and how they operate. And so that's probably like the most paramount thing. I would say some stuff that I try to take in from my own personal experience. Um, I think like those feelings and big moments, and we're about to go into those big moments this weekend, and we're really excited. But you remember how you felt in those moments, and so just trying to help them build the tools, build the skill set to handle those moments, and to feel in control and to take ownership of their gymnastics when the lights come on. So I think that's probably something that I try to do my best to help them out with.
Is such a good segue because when we got on the call, I said to Corey, I really want to ask Ashley about her final beam routine as an LSU Tiger because that dismount is ingrained in my brain forever of that double full and like the chest bump and the L and like it's like ingrained in my brain. And I feel like there's so much about that Aaliyah had. So I wanted
Oh,
to ask you about like watching Aaliyah do that beam routine and you guys were in that same anchor position in critical moments, like what that must have been like for you, having been a student athlete in that position and then being her coach in that
yeah.
position.
And it was very, very special. Aaliyah is obviously incredibly talented, incredibly gifted, but also just carries this confidence about her. And it is the way that she is as a person. Like it just translates from her as a person into being an athlete. And so her confidence carries her. And so just to be able to be in that moment with her and to share it with her, we always just talk about being our normal. And so trying to make that moment that's so big as normal as possible. That was both of our goals. And what she did that day was her normal. And we knew that that would be enough to get it done. And so it was really special.
Oh, cool. Okay, so you guys won the national championship for the first time in program history. And I'm sure alumni wise, donor wise, all of the people who have built the legacy and the momentum behind LSU gymnastics felt that with you guys through those four rotations last year in Fort Worth. And truth be told, I felt that with you. I think many fans of gymnastics felt that with you all. But just before we go to some more fun questions for you, just what did that mean to you as an alumni? And I'm sure there's so much that like you could talk about of what the season was, right? We had the climb last
Right.
year, all of those things. But you as alumni and you as a coach now and as just a supporter of gymnastics, like a new program winning a national championship is a really big deal for our sport and it's so great. But I'm sure for you guys it felt extra special.
Absolutely. I mean, it's definitely been very incredibly special. It was super special. It feels so long ago right now, just as we go into this weekend. But it was absolutely, I think, Dee Dee and her effort and the people who have come before us. I think about all of those people who paved the way. And I think that our athletes feel the same way, that they know the legacy of the program and everything that it's taken to get up to this point. And they wanted to close the door on that. And they wanted to not be second place anymore. And so to see them just come back and be celebrated with our community. Baton Rouge is so LSU oriented, and they celebrate every sport. There's not one stone that goes unturned in terms of celebration. So just to see them come back and to be rallied in the community, but with our alumni, with the people who have been through this journey, it was incredibly special, and obviously very special to me to be able to do it and then to be on the floor with them on that day. But I think it means a lot to our community, and I think our girls don't underestimate how much it means, and how impactful their journey really was to go into that meet and to do what they did. So it was very special. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Let's talk leotards, everyone's favorite topic, because I remember, I don't know, it might have been you who told me this, but that Dee Dee had this quote that was winners wear white. And of course, you guys wore white last year when you won. So talk to us about that leotard, first of all, the white leotard, and then give us a little, how does the process work of coming up with these beautiful masterpieces of LSU leotards and what we can look forward to this weekend?
I'm very excited for this weekend, like beyond excited. So last year, my GK rep is Reagan Corbell, who's one of LSU's alumni. And so the fact that we get to do this together it's super special, but it's been so fun for both of us. So the white Leo from last season was her baby. And she brought it to me the season before in like May. And she was like, this is the Leo. And I was like, this is a white Leo. Like, it's like, I love it. It's beautiful. But like, what do you mean? She was like, this is my baby. Like, I love this Leo. I want to see it come to life. And I was like, cool, let's do it. I think our girls love to wear white, and like, it's just not how I operated as an athlete. And I'm always pulling them, seeing what they want to wear. I think leotards are so personal. Like, it could be my favorite Leo and it could be your least favorite Leo. And like, I think you kind of have to find a middle ground. And so for our girls to I let our traditional seniors pick last year. So they saw all 5 Leos and they picked that one for nationals. But it came to life because of Reagan. She wanted white. She wanted to be clean. She wanted the purple stones. I think my favorite detail is that tigers right at the top of the neckline, and it like peeped out of their championship shirts. Like, I can't. It was beautiful. So that's how that one came to be. I think our process, like I said, I'm constantly pulling our girls and asking them what they want to wear. I love to make Leos, but I do not have to wear them. So it's always like kind of a journey between like, we want more black, we want more purple, we want to see more of this incorporated. And so talking to them through that, and then we go. And so Reagan and I will work together and try to piece together our Leos. So we had 5 this year. We did 1 at SECs, 2 at regionals. We only had 1 white Leo this year, and our girls decided that they wanted to wear it at SECs. It was like they were unanimous, which never happens. There's 20 of them, 21, but they were unanimous that they wanted to wear white at SECs, and they knew which one they wanted to wear day 2 of nationals. Like, those 2, they were set. There was no one who deviated. I was like, okay. So I will say that as a clue for the weekend. But we'll be debuting 2 new Leos. I love them. I think they're so like LSU all the way, and so I'm excited to see them on the floor. I'm excited to debut them, show everybody. But it's personal. Everyone will have their opinions, and like, when you go out there, you're like,
Hey, look,
so you never really know what people are gonna think.
Yeah, but I mean, we're here to say right now, if the student athletes feel amazing in them, that's all that really matters. You know what
That's
I'm
the
saying?
only thing I care about. And like, that's why I like allowing them to have the voice that they have, and like to make the decisions and to make the calls. It definitely frees you up, and it definitely allows them to express themselves the way that they want to too. So it's been fun. It's like one of my favorite little side quests, I'll say.
I love it. I love it. Okay, two more questions for you. I have one, and then Olivia's gonna ask you a question that we're asking all of the staff members that we are chatting with this week ahead of nationals.
Okay.
Mine is I just genuinely need to know. Have you ever had to give Connor McLean a correction on her most beautiful wolf jump that is just to the gods? Like, I just feel
She's
like you don't even have to do anything.
no, she's hard to correct in general because she knows herself so well that she'll come off and she'll be like, "It's this," and I'm like, "It is that," like she's so cool because she came that way. She came to us just with this sense of maturity and a knowledge and an ownership of her gymnastics that I have never seen in such a young person. And so I remember our first inner spot, I fist bumped her and like it was like weird energy. And so I like went to her after and I was like, hey, like, she was like, yeah, I'm good. Like, I don't need you to fist bump me. And at first I was like, oh, but like she knew, like, she's like, I know what I need. And I was like, I appreciate that so much. And I appreciate the way, like, her confidence. Obviously her technique is impeccable, but it's like I said, it's just the way that she knows herself. That I think is unparalleled. I think that it gives her just that extra level up. So no, I do not correct that wolf jump.
Why
It is
would you?
beautiful. It's textbook. It is my favorite thing to watch. Just the way that she exclamation points everything with her releve at the end. It's just beautiful gymnastics. But like I said, I think one of my favorite parts is the way that she knows herself. And she can come off the beam and she'll tell me exactly what she needs. And like we have that conversation and then she'll go up there and she makes the correction right away. Um, so it's a cool experience getting to work with an athlete of that caliber. I'll say that.
Yeah. I will interrupt right before Olivia asks the question. Yesterday, we chatted with Haley,
Yeah.
which was so fun. But the question we're asking all of the student athletes is which athlete on another team are they inspired by? But we also allowed Haley to answer what athlete from her own team is she inspired by, and she couldn't have answered the question quicker with the answer of Connor. And so everything you're sharing right now, I just think I want to put another exclamation point, finish on releve, if you will, moment, of just you know, you have great student athletes on your team, but really
100%.
inspiring, motivating, and some storylines of
Yeah.
their life that
Right.
are stories to be heard and for stories to be felt in really significant ways. So it's just been so fun to kind of like dig a little deeper in some of those. So yeah.
I'm
Okay.
glad that you hear it. I'm glad that it translates. I agree with you. I won't expound the point too much, but they're so special and they are so unique individually, and the way that their unique pieces come together is what makes them so great, right? That we don't want them to all be the same. We want them to be different, and then we want them to utilize their differences to make us all better. And Connor is definitely an example of that. But so is Haley. She does not give herself enough credit. She's too humble. So
Okay, I'll be honest, I did pause the time because I don't want to get a deduction and I'm in charge of the stopwatch.
okay.
But I want to emphasize this point because
Yeah.
that's what we're here for. We
Yeah.
are here to continue to tell these stories and I mean, I've Olivia and I have always wanted to advocate for student athletes and to advocate for the student athlete experience. And I do believe that many of your student athletes in particular, because of the spotlight that is on you all,
Yeah.
whether you take the NIL lens, whether you take the national champion lens, whether you take the former elite and have been in the spotlight and landed
Yeah.
in Baton Rouge lens, there's so many reasons why there are eyeballs on the LSU Tigers. And I've been a part of teams that we've had security cards that had to come with us and things of that nature. And I just want to hit home right now that the most important thing right now is that your student athletes feel good about themselves, that they take control of their gymnastics, of their academics, of their friendships, of their family life, that they continue to do everything that they need to do to be the best person that they can be. And then, the cherry on top is a stuck landing and raising a trophy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I'm so passionate about making sure that like student athletes that have spotlights are protected.
100%.
And I mean, I will share one story. You know, when you guys came to Arkansas this year, Livy came and said hello to me, and the first moment I did is I just grabbed her shoulder and I was like, "Hey, wellness check. Like, how are you? I want to know your heart.
Yeah.
How are you doing?" And she just really appreciated that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine. I cannot imagine. I
Yeah.
cannot. And I know
I
you.
mean, it's been the coolest thing to watch her grow through it, because it has grown every year. And when it started, we weren't really sure what it was going to be, and the way that it has developed into what it is a testament to her family, and to her work ethic. I think she is a master juggler. I'll say that. Like, she has 1 billion things going on all the time, and she handles it with such grace. She doesn't miss anything. There's never a day where she's not communicating with us about what her needs are. And it's been such a cool experience, but really an honor to just watch it happen.
Mhm.
And the way that she goes about it and the way that they do it has been super special. And she's constantly giving back, constantly. But I think for us, I think gymnastics and I think being on our team is her normal and it's her happy place. And there is no chatter about all of the other stuff in her life. It's where she gets to be herself. And so I think we hope that all of our girls walk in the gym and they feel like it's a safe space for them. That it's a place where they can really be who they are authentically, and that they can share in those moments and they can share in a love of gymnastics with one another. I think obviously with all of this stuff, they all have came from so many places, but they've also gone through so many things on their gymnastics journeys. So for some of them, it's recovering that love for the sport again. And for some of them, it's getting them back to a place of like, this has hurt me in the past and I want to feel good about it again. And so I think there's a part of healing that comes from being a part of a group that cares about one another and is really invested in that process. But I'm really glad to hear you say that. I'm glad to hear you say all of those things, because I couldn't agree more that wellness, mental health, and all of the things that go into being a human being, but being a human being on the biggest stage and being a human being who has to handle really large moments in front of hundreds of thousands of people on a daily basis. They are doing some things that are absolutely spectacular. And we have some really great humans. And so I'm grateful that I get to work with them every day. I'm grateful that I get to be the smallest part of their journey, that I get to just have a front row view of it, because they are so cool.
Okay, my final question for you is, we just talked about it a little bit. The sport has so many eyeballs. There's so much attention on gymnastics, on LSU gymnastics, on just the sport in general.
Yeah.
And Corey and I feel so passionately about the sport's growth. And so something we want to ask all of the coaches is, what is something you would ask a fan who maybe isn't a gymnastics fan, but like, what's something you would tell them about gymnastics that would get them to become a fan, or at least just come to a meet and enjoy it in an effort to grow the sport?
Hmm. That's tricky because there are so many things, like trying to pick one thing to tell someone is like trying to pick a needle in a haystack. Like, there's 1 billion things that make our sport so amazing, and it is truly the most unique experience. I think for us in Baton Rouge, just to be able to have the fan base that we have and to have the people, we always promote family oriented. Like, we want to have you and your kids. And I think it might be that thing. I think that it might be the way that our athletes are just shining beacons of light, like incredible examples of hard work, of determination, of all of those things that you want your children to be, and you want your the next generation to be. I think that our athletes are great examples of that, and I think that when they go out there and they take the floor on Friday nights, that they are just a demonstration of grit, of character, and just so many other things that make up what it takes to be an incredible athlete. So I think I'm going to go with like that premise of like, our athletes are just great examples. I think they are incredible people. And I think that to be able to go into the arena and to see them shine is a very unique experience, but it's special. It's exciting. It's a whirlwind. And I think that we get to do the coolest thing to be on the floor with them.
Couldn't agree more.
I don't know. Like, this is a hard question.
It is a hard question, but you took it and hit a home run,
I
if you
know.
will. And guess what, guys? How did that
You
happen?
got a 10.
You got a 10.
Sick.
Oh no, that was awesome. No.
Cool.
Ashleigh, thank you so much. I mean, thank you
Yeah,
for
of
sharing
course.
your heart, and it's so evident the passion that you have for the Tigers, and
Thank you.
we can't wait to see you this week in Fort Worth and cheer on
Yeah.
all of your team, and it's going to be a very exciting week, and
Yeah. Thank you guys for doing what you're doing. This is awesome. This is so
absolutely.
awesome. So I look forward to seeing you guys.
Can't
Look
wait.
forward to Texas, beautiful leotards, beautiful
All of
gymnastics.
it.
So much fun.
All of it. Well, that's
Cool.
another episode of 10-Minute Touch Warm Up. Thanks for having, or thanks for tuning in. And Ashleigh, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Stay tuned for another episode coming up soon. We got a lot in store for you this week ahead of nationals. So keep listening, keep watching. We're happy you're here. Thanks, guys.